It will be, and there you go. This meeting will be recorded today, and our employees who are unavailable to participate at this hour will have the opportunity to witness it at their own time at a later date. It will be posted on our internal sites, and so they'll have the opportunity to go back and look at that. As I shared with you, you received an email. You will have 2 minutes to introduce yourself and the district that you are seeking to represent. And then we will entertain just a couple of questions. As you can see, there are probably about 14 or so of you on this northern half of the districts. And so you'll have the opportunity to address a couple of questions, and then we will wrap up and give you and our employees their time back. But so that you know, we are so grateful that you are here today, and we will go down in order by district and then alphabetically, if you will. So I will be able to call out each of you. Make sure that you're able to unmute yourself when it is your turn. There is an employee, a cyber world out there that you can't see, but they are watching you. So it just looks like an intimate space with us, but they are out there and they are viewing you. And again, they'll be able to watch the recording at a later date. So we will go ahead and jump right in. District 1, Mr. Lewis.
Good morning. My name is Eric Lewis. I'm a candidate for Metro Council District 1, which covers Zachary, northern portion of Baker, northern portion of Zachary, northern portion of Central, Port Hudson, Cheneyville, and Pride. My focus for this campaign is on youth development, educational attainment, public safety, economic development, and infrastructure, including maintenance and new construction. I am a native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. After graduating from Southern University, I accepted a job offer as an electrical engineer with Texas Instruments. Spent a number of years in Dallas, Texas, and then spent a few years in North Louisiana in Alexandria working as an electrical engineer as well. I am currently a small business owner. I own a management consulting firm by the name of the EFOD Company. I've been actively involved in the Baton Rouge community ever since I moved back to Baton Rouge in 2002. I was on the board, the executive board of Forum 35. I was a founder and a board member of the Baton Rouge Black Chamber of Commerce, and formerly was the president and treasurer of an organization called Rise Up Louisiana, as well as a deacon in my church, the Way of Holiness Ministries. Baton Rouge is a city that I love very dearly, and my greatest focus is working together with the 2021-2025 Metro Council and administration to move our community forward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis. Councilwoman Banks with District 2.
Good morning. Can you see me, Chandra?
I cannot see you. However, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'm not sure, because I kept looking at, okay, well, I won't waste my 2 minutes. My name is Chawna Banks. I'm the current councilwoman for District 2 on the Metro, seeking my 3rd term. I'm a 3rd generation resident of the Scotlandville community. My focus for my election has to do with all the tenets that encourage and ensure a great quality of life for my constituency: education, economic development, health, recreation, housing, and workforce development. I have 3 of the 5 East Baton Rouge ExxonMobil facilities in District 2. A little known fact is that my great-grandfather's brother, Pompey Square, owned the land where Exxon Chemical is located off Scenic Highway. So yeah, y'all gonna have to add that to your historical perspective. I'm a graduate of Southern University Laboratory School, as well as bachelor's degree and master's from Southern University. Both my parents are also graduates of Southern University. I have basically feel that I grew up with the Standard Oil, Exxon legacy. My grandfather worked in the janitorial services of Standard Oil, and 4 of my mother's 12 siblings worked for ExxonMobil, 2 in corporate, 2 at plant, And one of my aunts was the highest ranking African-American women in ExxonMobil USA. And she also was the controller when Exxon explored having a plant in Africa. So, you know, knowing about ExxonMobil and then being a council member, having an opportunity to work so closely with public affairs and them assisting our community and with all kinds of services, including a playground at the Jewel J. Newman Community Center, and even working with us when we did the 2016 flood, back to school events, and numerous other initiatives. And it is great being here, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Banks. Is Mr. Jemison on the call? Do not think that I saw him. We will come back. We do see you now, Councilwoman Banks. Thank you. Then we'll go on to Dr. Johnson. Well, wait, let's get you off mute. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I want to first start off by apologizing to let you know that I am being challenged with the little hoarseness of my throat with the change of the weather. But I will start by saying that my name is Dr. Dina Johnson, as mentioned. I am a lifetime resident of District 2. I'm a graduate of Broadmoor High. However, I attended Southern Lab for numerous years. Followed by graduating from Grambling State University with my undergrad in business management and my minor in computer science. I then returned back home and attained my master's degree from Southern University in the area of public administration with a minor in computer science. And my concentration is in healthcare management. I've since, in 2011, obtained my PhD in public policy, concentration in healthcare, finance, and environmental science. I have a great love for all of the diversity of public policy and public service. I've served at the federal, local, and state government. I've also had the opportunity to participate in the great program that they had years ago at the Jewel Newman Center called the JTPA program, where I learned a lot about finances and work ethics and things of that nature. My, let's see, and the district area, of course, that I am running for would be District 2, and that includes the Baker and Allison, the Scotlandville known area, Banks area, and also, let's see, a little the scenic area and Foster Road area. My focus of my platform for this campaign would be focused on community improvement, economic development, the environment per se, and that would be focusing and working with you guys as well at ExxonMobil. And I would look forward to that, a collaboration of work efforts together. Also infrastructure within the district of District 2 of our district. Recreational and entertainment would also be a great thing that we could have here or focus on, along with the addressing the issues of crime, which seems like it's being heightened at this time of the critical time of our life right now. In addition to that, I would also like to focus on community engagement. My professional background is that I have worked, like I said, it's a federal, local, and state government. I've worked as a data analyst for over 17 years. I've also established my own 2 businesses. One is called Journey of Life Services, which is an outreach program for adolescent fathers and homeless pregnant teens. And I also have established a business called Specialty Creations and More, which is a novelty tea and accessories business. I have 15+ years of facilitating experience. I'm also an instructor. I've taught at various universities as well in the area of healthcare, business management, general education, finance, and all those other subjects.
Dr. Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You will have the opportunity to share some more when we get to these questions, okay?
Awesome. Thank you, Shonda.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move on to District 3, Mr. Rowdy Gode, where he is the one qualifying candidate. So you have your 2 minutes, Mr. Gode. And just for everyone's not, this means two. Just so you know.
Thank you, Shanda. Thank you for teaching us this means two. I appreciate that. Thank you, Shanda. Thanks to ExxonMobil for providing the opportunity. As the largest private employer, it's great to that you all facilitate this type of a dialogue with your employees. So greatly appreciate that. And good afternoon to all the leaders and colleagues who are on this call. Thank you for offering yourself up for service. Rowdy Gode is my name. I was fortunate enough to be the only qualifier for District 3. So we'll be sworn into office in January of 2021. I ran on a platform of infrastructure growth, economic development, and increased public safety. But the more broad message that I ran on was I want to be a part of a Metro Council that is the policy side of a local government that provides everyone with an opportunity to succeed. And I believe we can have that in East Baton Rouge Parish. I am married to Wendy, my wonderful bride. We have 4 beautiful children. And professionally, I work for a consulting firm by the name of Emergent Method. I spent about 3.5 years working on the action side of government, the mayor's office. So implementing a lot of programs, and now excited to move over to the policy side. I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gode. District 4, Ms. James.
Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you very much, Exxon, for the opportunity. My name is Tanika James, and I am a candidate for District 4 Metro City Council. I am a small business owner. I am a mentor, proud daughter of a veteran, and also a proud working mother. I spent most of my career working for corporate America with a company that we all know, AT&T. I started when they were with Bell South, not to give my age. I stepped out on faith and started my own small business, specifically working in the pretrial department, helping juveniles make better decisions after some bad choices had been previously made. That's one accomplishment that I'm very grateful of. As years progressed, I added a mental health piece to my business that I'm very fond and proud of as well, where I have serviced hundreds of people starting at the age of 4 all the way up to our senior citizens, making sure that we assist with their mental health challenges or any adversity that they may face to make sure that they have complete wellness as part of their family. This opportunity is very important to me because as a small business owner, I think that it's very important for us to collaborate and for us to work together. Some of my attributes over the years have been, over the past 5 years, I've been able to send some unfortunate kids to NASA to be able to understand how things work behind the scenes. Hopefully being able to provide them an opportunity to let them know how important math and science are in their lives. I'm also proud of the different things that my organizations have done to give back to the community for uniform drives and different things in the community to hold parenting classes and things of that nature. My district consists of Goodwood, part of Florida Boulevard, Sherwood Forest, Flannery, and Central. And again, I thank you very much for this opportunity today, and I am Tanika James.
Thank you so much, Ms. James. Mr. Vicknair.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me? All right, sounds great. Good afternoon. My name is Lon Vicknair. I grew up in Baton Rouge. I went to St. Thomas More, St. Isidore, Struma, graduated from Central High, and went to Southeastern. I left Southeastern, joined the Navy and spent the next 20 years flying until I retired in June of last year. Returned home to Central, and that's where my wife and I relocated, and we're raising our family. Currently, I work for Petroleum Service Corporation. I'm a site leader, work in the oil and gas industry. And I'd like to speak specifically to that in this. District 4, where I would represent, is where a lot of ExxonMobil employees and contractors live and raise their families. So it'd be my goal to make sure we continue to provide to the district for where people are raising their families. The presentation that we got last week, I'd like to speak to, highlighted ExxonMobil's commitment to the community and the revenue that they provide to the city. And being the single biggest employer and taxpayer, that's a significant commitment to our city. Unfortunately, the city has not reciprocated that commitment with the business predictability being in the red and transportation infrastructure. So those are things we have to work on. We have to improve that capital investment for our largest employer. Not being able to invest in its future takes away from our ability to invest in our future. So we have to work on that. And make no mistake, the lifeblood of Baton Rouge is the petrochemical industry. And without that, we become Detroit, and we cannot allow that to happen. So I will spend my time working on the commitments that we have and making Baton Rouge a friendly place for business to build and to expand upon. So I'm Lon Vignair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vignair. We will move on to District 5 and Councilwoman Green.
Good morning, everyone. I am Erica Green of District 5. I'm excited to be here to speak with you guys because I'm a daughter of a person that has that's in the oil and gas industry. He has worked not only at a subsidy of Exxon, but he's worked in the plant and outside the plant for the last 40 years, and I've been able to attend college and law school based on that job that he has had. And I'm so proud of my father and the opportunity that I've been given from his job. But a little bit about myself, I am now a lawyer. I have been practicing for 9 years on my own private practice. I am also a director of a nonprofit that I started 4 years ago that specializes in literacy for African American community, as well as promotes cultural awareness. Exxon has been a proud sponsor of our festival for the past 4 years. I also am proud to be not only a community leader because I've been in numerous organizations, but I've held leadership capacity in those organizations. But I've also helped our community center, the Charles R. Kelly Community Center, grow in the last 4 years. We've expanded our services and our resources. We've partnered with the Council on Aging. We've partnered with the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank and now have our own site pantry. And we've partnered with Exxon, who hosts their community meetings at the Charles R. Kelly Community Center. That's important to know because that's how we keep funding sources moving at the Charles R. Kelly Community Center. Not only in that center, but outside. I'm a community person because I've helped our neighborhood associations in District 5 reestablish themselves, at least 4 or 5 in the last 4 years. Also, I wouldn't be a great politician if I didn't present some policy work, and I'm proud of the work that I've been able to present and to get passed. Though I didn't get past our local control of minimum wage, I'm still pushing on that issue. I have been able to get past a noise ordinance where we work with Southern Poverty Law Center. I've also been able to get past a hotel ordinance where we help to decrease human trafficking by providing permits. And I worked with the Hotel Association with that. I am truly in love with District 5 because I've lived there all my life. And I went to public school there. Like I said, I went away to college to Texas and came back to Southern University Law Center. My ultimate goal is to be a community servant, but my ultimate goal is also to make sure that North Baton Rouge is moving forward in the community. In order to do that, we definitely need to enhance our economic development. And I work with BRAC, and I work with and hold them accountable. And I also work with the North Baton Rouge Economic Development District, also known as Impact BR. And when I say work with, we bring to the small businesses the resources that they need. In District 5, you have Employ BR, which is a workforce development program by the city. I've also held them accountable to increasing services. And so that's part of my platform as well, to ensure that there's accountability in city services. I end by saying thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. I am number 107 on your ballot, and I look forward to completing the work that I've started. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Green. Do we have Mr. Hurst on the call? Don't think I saw his name. Okay, then we will move then to District 10, and we will start with Mr. Anderson. I got it right today, right? Oh, wait, I think we have you on mute, Mr. Anderson. You're still on mute. No.
Ooh.
Okay, we got you.
There we go. All right. We're getting off on the right foot. So I'm Quentin Anthony Anderson. Aside from being the guy with the 19th century hair, I'm also a proud McKinley High alumni and an LSU law graduate. So my roots in the district are long, and in the case of my law degree, quite expensive. My passion is social justice, and it's been the undercurrent of my career. Whether addressing the school to prison pipeline or combating environmental injustice, that's been what has motivated me. I'm currently the executive chairman of the Justice Alliance, which organizes an annual statewide social justice summit here in Baton Rouge called the My Louisiana Equality and Equity Summit. And I'm a small business owner, having founded a communications and graphic design firm back in 2013. Every candidate has a theory of the case, the reason why they're running. I'm running because I think Baton Rouge can be a great city, but I think we've been held back by political leadership that disagrees with that. We've been held back by political leaders who tell us that Baton Rouge isn't quite good enough to be great, so they package the status quo as good enough for Baton Rouge. The result, gross inequality, perpetual inequities, stagnant wages, failing schools, rising crime, and a collective sense that our government isn't reflecting the bold, audacious leadership this critical moment in our parish's history is calling for. I've lived in Baton Rouge since I was a kid, and for too many communities, nothing has changed. Especially in this district, too many people have told me that their neighborhoods have been ignored. Too many people lack access to healthcare in this district. Too many people lack access to reliable transportation in this district. Too many people lack access to real career opportunities, not just jobs. Too many young people are unemployed. Too much of our politics is becoming tribal, territorial, and race-based. Too many of our politicians are bought and paid for. Sure, there's been plenty of investment in the places where there's always been investment, and that's great. But for too many communities in Baton Rouge, they haven't even had access to these opportunities, so their communities continue to fall behind others. And we know which neighborhoods we're talking about. I believe that in order to be a great city, we have to build the foundation upon which great cities are built. Real justice, real access, and real investment. That means looking at how we spend our taxpayer dollars on public safety and making sure we're actually funding policies and programs that result in real public safety, crime reduction, and justice, not just mass incarceration. It means investing in our public transportation system and creating a system that's reliable, efficient, and provides a real and attractive alternative for Baton Rouge drivers. And yes, that means light rail in Baton Rouge. And real investment means making sure the parish is aggressive about driving public development in the areas that have traditionally been overlooked and disinvested, like North Baton Rouge and Old South, and using redevelopment vehicles like Build Baton Rouge to drive that investment and requiring mass employers to not only bring jobs, but tell us how you're going to identify, train, and hire within the zip codes that you're moving into. We can be a great city, I know that, but it's going to require bold leaders. I hope to have this conversation with you over the course of the next 40 some odd days until election day, and if there's a runoff going into December 5th. But if you want more information about my campaign, you can visit my website at anderson2020.org.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. Another candidate in District 10, Ms. Carolyn Coleman.
Good afternoon. I'm Carolyn Coleman, a candidate for Metro Council District 10, the mama of two sons, one who currently works there at Exxon, grandmother 4, great-grand of 1. I'm delighted here today to have had Standard Oil, Humble Oil, Esso, Exxon, and now today, affectionately known as ExxonMobil, here in District 10, where I've resided, where I've currently resided in the home that I'm in, going on 22 years. And so this emerge of ongoing growth mirrors my vision for District 10. The expansion of ExxonMobil training and employment program, you all, that it already exists, has existed, used to be called at one time the apprentice program, of which a sister of mine was a part of. The expansion of that in 10 for our young people. Career employment with ExxonMobil, as opposed to just a job, but can definitely change a lifestyle. Strengthening and building the relationships with our schools. Children are my passions. Connected to children are true adults, and you all know that. So being able to strengthen and build those relationships with schools, the industrial arts, the pipe fitting, the whatever, etc. Bigger presence in school is what I desire to have with Exxon, making students aware that, hey, you all make the wax for the crayons that I'm using, and the Dixie cups and the Glade and the Yankee candles. These are things that children and parents can truly identify with and to. Resume those plant tours, the field trips for the students and the faculty. That was in operation, and it was excellent. But start back doing that and exposing our children to what is right here in our city and in District 10. In Dixie, which is an area that is an intricate part of District 10, the constituents there and their children were a conduit to the Exxon employment upon graduation. It was just an automatic that would be a part of their lives, and they made good livings with that. So all of this is economic development that will curtail blight and crime. And so at one time there's, and so my universal intent echoes that campaign slogan that Humble Oil and Exxon and Esso it was. It said, put a tiger in your tank. You all probably don't remember that, too young. That's what I am looking for Exxon to do for District 10. Put a tiger in that tank in order that we can forge ahead and make some real possibilities for the people in District 10. And I thank Exxon.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman. Thank you. Next up, we'll have Mr. Eugene Collins.
All right, how y'all doing today? Had some problems getting off of mute there. My name is Eugene Collins. I'm seeking to be your next Metro Councilman in District 10. I'm a sociologist. I run the largest standalone STD clinic in the region, which is Open Healthcare Clinic. It's the Heart Clinic. I do that by day. I'm the president of the Baton Rouge branch of the NAACP by night. And I'm going to spend some time telling you about some of the things that I have done. We know that economic development is a huge piece of success for any person that decides to sit in this seat, gets elected to sit in this seat. One of the things that I've done to help economic development is I wrote a historical district application and got that application funded to establish the old South Baton Rouge Historical District. We wrote that application on a Sunday with about 24 hours to go, and we got it funded at the max. And in addition, we got that organization funded with another $50,000 to help in developing that district. Those two applications was written to improve infrastructure and help with providing resources through government subsidies to property owners now, because we know that legislation passed in 2022 that we know property owners are now going to benefit this in addition to business owners. In addition to that, an organization out of the Leo S. Butler Center, Metro Health Education, I've written to the tune of about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of applications for that organization that solely serves District 10. In my current employment, I've acquired at no minimum at least $2 million through different applications that I've written to service the populations of District 10 and some of the surrounding districts as well. So I don't come to you telling you what I plan on doing. These are some of the things that I've done. In addition to that, as the president of NAACP, I've been fortunate enough to fight for equal rights, workers' rights as well. I appreciate Exxon's invitation to be a part of this, but we also have to push entities like Exxon to do more in our communities. In addition to doing more in our communities, making sure that the employees win at a higher rate. And although I know Exxon does a great job with those tools, we're going to need more. So I'm hoping to be the next Metro Council person to not act in a sustainable stance, but to push our community to be better and continue to have my foot on the gas as it's always been in this district. And just like that, I'm going to have to leave this call at some point because I got a clinic to run, but definitely looking forward to serving you in District 10 and continuing the work that I've been doing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Collins. Next up, we have Ms. Cozy. Let's get you off mute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Andrea Cozy, and just wanted to say, first of all, happy Voters Registration Day. 60% of people say that they don't vote and are not registered to vote because nobody ever asked them. So please take some time out today to encourage people to vote. I'm a resident of Old South Baton Rouge, and I attended graduate school at Centenary College in Shreveport, and I have had both studies at LSU and at Southern University. I'm a licensed public school teacher, and I'm taught for 17 years as a special education teacher. I also serve on the North Economic Development District Board, and Exxon also has a representative who serves as a director on the board there. And I'm a co-owner of Ray J's College of Hair in Baton Rouge. Okay, I'm also a proud participant in the Exxon Mobil Focus Group, which works to keep the community engaged into the inner workings of Exxon Mobil, which is an intricate part of the community. The community that I will be serving include the City Park area, the LSU area, the Downtown East, Downtown, Fairfields, Ostruma, Mid-City, Old South Baton Rouge, Scotlandville, Southern University, and the South Side. And I wanted you to know which communities I'm referring to when I begin to talk about the food deserts that exist in the community. Okay, I'm very passionate about the fact that people need healthy food. They need healthy ways of getting nutritious food. And one of the things that we need to talk about is the very real aspect of poverty upon the citizens in District 10. I believe that our district has residents who care and they really want to be safe. Okay, regardless of their income level, they want to be safe. In order to move the district forward, we need to get the residents involved in the process and in the inner workings of the city, okay? So I think we need to increase community activism and increase participation in the community. In the years of 2001 through 2015, the mayor, Kip Holden, and Mayor Sharon Westenbroom, they had over $600 trillion that was either expended or obligated toward improving the infrastructure of our city and the transportation in our city. And if we have sufficient infrastructure as far as transportation is concerned, we ought to be able to provide access to healthy food choices using that transportation. And so I feel that it's an important time for us to take the capital contributions that are available to our city and utilize them to help the community. We have a lot of long-term problems that need long-term solutions. And I feel that we need to have a candidate who will go downtown to the city council and actually speak for the residents, speak on behalf of the residents and the things that we need. And most importantly, we need to end the widespread poverty that exists throughout District 10 and provide sufficient infrastructure and sufficient grocery stores and access to healthcare and access to educational opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Cozy. Next, we have Mr. Jay Goday.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank y'all for having me. I'm a DBE firm with Exxon, so it's good to be on this other side of the table speaking to you guys. So thank y'all again. But my name is Jay Goday. I'm running for Metro Council District 10. I'm a graduate of Southern University with a master's in criminal justice and public administration. I was a juvenile probation counselor for juvenile services for 5 years. I was responsible for coordinated services for families and for youth in District 10. So I would supervise families in area code 70801 through 70808. And I did that for 5 years, working with other community leaders, working with other organizations to help reduce recidivism rates, to help coordinate services for families and provide resources for youth and families in this area. After resigning from juvenile services, I started my company, which is Goday Enterprises Realty and Development, as well as a community development corporation to address blight, as well as teach youth how to learn skills in real estate on how to renovate properties, how to identify distressed properties, with the sense to put properties back in commerce, to teach them educational skills in real estate, to teach them leadership skills as well as entrepreneurship skills. I was a professor for Southern for a year. I taught criminal justice 101. I was a high school educator as well. And I am running for District 10 because I'm sure as many of us do, many of us travel to other cities and we see the potential that other cities have, that the same thing that our city can bring to the table. I look at District 10 as well as Baton Rouge as a blank canvas, that the same things that are happening in our other cities, or we have the same potential and the same availabilities. And I'm looking to bring that combination of skill sets on the council to be able to look at things from a different set of eyes and bring that perspective to our city. I spent the last few years of the things that I've been doing in this city is teaching youth how to learn about the wealth disparity gap, understanding wealth generation practices on what they need to do to be able to not just earn jobs, but create jobs. And that is some things that I'm gonna definitely be looking to Exxon and talk about to bring to the table to make sure that when we're looking at inputting back into our community, that we're not just supporting small businesses, but we're teaching small businesses on how to bring in the community and learn how to and educating the people on how to understand the wealth disparity gaps that we have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goday. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Devontae Lewis.
Thank you so much. My name is Devontae Lewis, and I'm a candidate for Metro Council District 10. I hail from Lake Charles, Louisiana, so first I have to just hold some space for my family and friends who are still rebuilding and recovering from Hurricane Laura. I graduated from McNeese State University, where I was the two-term student body president. I'm also served as the Council Student Body President's chairman and a board member on the University of Louisiana Board of Supervisors, which oversees 9 public institutions in our state, including Southeastern, which brings me to my love of higher education. After college and after working in public affairs for quite some time, I took a break and I committed myself to my passion, which was helping our youth, and became an elementary school teacher, teaching 2 doors down from my own mother, which I would not advise anybody else to ever do again. It was fun, but it was adventurous. After that, I found my calling, recognizing my students were suffering from lack of housing, lack of food security, lack of health care, and it brought me back to the state of Louisiana and here in Baton Rouge, where I became the director of public affairs at the Louisiana Budget Project that works on issues that affect low and moderate income families and how do we build prosperity and move them out. Baton Rouge can be the next great American city. We look at capital regions and in public institution cities like Austin and Atlanta, and we've witnessed growth. And one of the reasons I'm running is because I know that we can be that here in Baton Rouge. If we commit to a place of a city of opportunity and prosperity, we can do that. But how do we do that? And that's what I think is the most important, is that we have to be a people-centered solution to advance equity, to promote justice, and to have shared prosperity for every single person. District 10 is an interesting district because it has places of riches of Ogden Park and Spanish Town and downtown, but it also houses some of the poorest neighborhoods, not only in this city, but in this state. And that showcases we can't be a tale of two cities. We can't have one thriving center of Baton Rouge and another that is falling behind. And so when we know that we invest in all people, putting people first, we can move and make a city great. And that is why I'm running, using my experience working in the state legislature and with our federal Congress and national partners to build connections, bring revenue, and build a city that can be the next great American city. I'm Devontae Lewis once again. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis. We are joined with Mr. Daryl Hurst. You can have your 2 minutes at this time, Mr. Hurst.
Hey, thank you all so much. And again, I had a major fire in the workplace that I had to put out, so I apologize for joining late. But I'm Daryl Hurst, candidate for District 5. Our city is comprised of some great assets, and then there's a big stain, which is the area that we live in. I think the Forgotten Land, which is North Baton Rouge. And so I want to take whatever cleaning supplies we can, which is my plan and my process, and remove that stain from the city. And the first thing is by putting neighbor back in neighborhood. And so what I've done in the community thus far is I've worked with Zion City, I work with Glen Oaks, I work with areas that don't currently have neighborhood associations to help them form. I've worked with Sharon Mann with Republic Waste, who's committed to create neighborhood associations and help us to form and incorporate those associations, and as well as provide family days in those communities. And I'm going somewhere with it, is because one of the biggest issues that we have in North Baton Rouge is blight. All right, blight, trash, that becomes a stain of the community, which deters economic development, invites crime, and makes it the black spot that we want to get rid of. And so when we engage and we empower our communities to not only take back their neighborhood, form those associations, but engage and put the neighbor back in neighborhood, now we have accountability within those neighborhoods. The second piece that we want to do is create merchant associations. So you can look at the old South Baton Rouge model, you can look at the Mid-City model, downtown model. These were desolate areas of the city that were surrounded by communities no different than Plank Road, Airline Highway, Greenwell Springs, what Hardin Boulevard looks like, which used to be thriving areas of the community. So things that we're doing currently is we're working with Affordable Home Furnishings, working with Frank Brown, with Bayou Cafe and Catering to be catalyst in what we consider to be the first merchant association that we want to put together in North Baton Rouge. And what we're going to do with that is allow the businesses to pool resources. So Tony's and Krispy Kreme is a great model in District 5 of what it takes to thrive. They have amazing facades. They have clean businesses. They have infrastructure that's great, but they have security, safety, and stability. And so by forming merchant associations and allowing different businesses to pool their resources, while they might not be able to have a security guard there full time, to make people from other walks of life want to come to those areas, if we pool our resources together and we pool our money, then we can have a single landscaper leveraging those resources. We have a single contractor improving the facades of the building, and we have street sweepers and other things that make it a safe and inviting environment. And I brought up those two things for certain reasons. If the corridors for our neighborhoods look good, if our neighborhoods look good, then we invite economic development, which means we bring jobs. If we bring jobs, then now we have employable people, and the necessity, or lack thereof, which causes crime, is now out of the door. And so with neighborhood associations, merchant associations, and cleaning the areas to invite businesses, and then I have a whole other economic development plan that focuses on 25 to 55, re-educating and making people re-employable in North Baton Rouge. We raise the median income, and we no longer become the stain. We become the Houston, the San Antonio, the Dallas model that we look after because we've raised that median income. It immediately deters crime without putting the whole crime task force together because we've educated our people, and education equals income, which equals outcome. They said 2 minutes, so I try to pull my 10 to 15 into 2. So I hope you guys got that. But I'm open for any conversation. And again, thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hurst. Now, you guys are making me work for this, okay? So I think we will have time for one good question that was pulled from our employees. I'm going to ask, and I know this is going to be a hard ask, but 1 minute for you to answer this. So pull it together. I'm gonna talk really slow so you can gather those thoughts. And I'm gonna ask that you do 1 minute because we know that you guys are in the middle of things and you have busy schedules, as well as our employees will need to get back to work as well. So the question is, what will you do to help encourage business to choose Baton Rouge as a competitive place to invest, especially in this tough economic environment, okay? What will you do to help encourage business to choose Baton Rouge? And we will just start at the top of the list and work our way down. So I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, for putting you back on the spot. You're number one with this question, so you can take it away. Let's get you off of mute.
And you meant me, Mr. Lewis, correct? I just wanted to make sure I got it.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, Mr. Eric Lewis. And then Mr. Devontae Lewis, you will wrap it up, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I think as a representative Metro Council member of the Metro Council, I think what is key is for us to set policies that allow all businesses to grow. In working and recruiting corporations to our community, they will need suppliers and service providers in the local community. And so if we can create a platform that allows small and minority businesses to grow and thrive, that would be one of the biggest things that we can help to improve the economic outcome within our city with respect to recruiting businesses. The second aspect to that is we want to be able to grow homegrown businesses, so that the competition with other municipalities or geographic regions is not so fraught. So the more that we can work to grow our own businesses and create a base within our community creates better opportunities for hiring and retaining people here in our local community.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis. You guys take note. He was within his 1 minute. Okay, District 2, Councilwoman Banks. Let's get you off of mute.
Firsthand, I've had some businesses that I've been successful in recruiting. And one of them, really as a council member, you do have to have somewhat of a hands-on approach when it comes to businesses in an area like North Baton Rouge and particularly District 2 because of certain reputations that we have. So what I've had, I'll just give a particular example of the steps that I took to recruit a business that is coming to our district from Ecuador, and it would be the first U.S. site. And in meeting with the representative that will lead that organization, I literally took him around the district to look at industrial sites that were available. From that relationship, he actually bought a property in my district off Mango Road that backs up ExxonMobil for $300,000. Secondly, I was able to connect him with the LEDs to ensure that he was aware of and that they were aware of his interest in the community so that they can offer him the different grants and incentives as it relates to that. I also introduced him to our representative with the Department of Chamber to make sure that because for him to come, we do need to make sure that there are businesses that need his services and that will support him in his growth and in his success. And the last thing is I worked with the mayor's office, Vineeth Engard, to make sure that all of those wraparound services are in place. And that basically in a 1, 2, 3 steps, that's how it should, that to me is a perfect recipe to encourage growth, recruit growth, and support growth in Baton Rouge.
Thank you, Councilwoman Banks. Dr. Johnson.
In order to help encourage businesses to invest in Baton Rouge, I would first like to, specifically within the District 2 area, would be to address the issue of blight and abandoned businesses to make the environment more investable. The next thing I would consider doing would be establishing incentives, and not as great as that of the one we have established with that of ExxonMobil, but to establish other incentives to other small businesses and other corporations that to invite them or more offer an enticement to want to come and invest in our area. Also, I would focus on the infrastructure, beautification of this area, and also transportation and infrastructure issues to also improve the environment's structured look and make it investable in. And to help on the economic development side, I would also like to create an expansion of the existing training programs that you're offering at ExxonMobil to that of the community of District 6. That's it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. Mr. Rowdy Goday.
Thanks, Sandra. You hear me okay? I think as a council, you've got to have a holistic view in order to attract businesses to Korea. For me, that's the tenets of the social determinants of health. You got to support economic stability, employment, and income. You've got to pay attention to the neighborhood and physical environment, so your housing, your transportation, your blight. You've got to work with your education partners in the community to have a quality education, literacy, early childhood education on up to higher education. You've got to have access throughout the parish to healthy food options. You've got to support community and social context, so support systems and community engagement throughout our parish. And then you have to have a robust healthcare system. Those are the social determinants of health. And I think as a council, if we can approach all issues with those as our guiding principle, then I think there are policies across the gamut that can be supported that communicates to businesses, we are a place that welcomes you. Thank you. You gave me my one. I saw
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew.
And then from District 4, Ms. Tanika James.
Okay, I did good this time. Well, that is a great question that the employees have asked of us. As a small business owner, it is important for us to not forget, in order to attract businesses here, we must first have something to offer them. The purpose of a small business or any business is to be successful. You must be successful. So we have to make sure that we have adequate, and we have to make sure, as part of my platform also, workforce development is very important. We have to ensure that there are training opportunities to make sure we have certified and qualified candidates to be able to apply for these jobs. It's easy just to perhaps be able to get someone to come over here to Baton Rouge because we have a great city. We all agree to that. But one thing we have to ensure is that we have community involvement. We also have, I heard Mr. Goday say as well, we have to make sure that we incorporate the educators and we incorporate the adequate programs to ensure that we have qualified people to be able to fill these jobs, such as certifications and trainings. And my 1 minute is up. Thank you. I was just getting started.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Vignair.
Yeah, so we need to maintain the current initiatives that we have currently and be accountable to what we have and give businesses a consistent roadmap to success in our community. And once we establish this business, we've got to quit changing the rules on them and then dropping in new taxes on them because they are successful. And then look into expanding maybe the incentives on taxes on the businesses to add and expand more jobs to allow them the increased salaries for the individuals that we're providing more jobs to then pay back into the community. So I think we go with what we have and let's be accountable to the things that we have in place currently.
Thank you, Mr. Vignair.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Green.
I think there has to be an understanding that the role of a council member is definitely to help attract. but also the role of the council member is to hold accountable the agencies that we fund to do business attracting and to support businesses and to connect business to resources that those agencies have. We have our Baton Rouge Area Chamber that needs to be held accountable because they receive funding from our budget. We have our North Baton Rouge Development Economic District, and that district and that committee has come a long way, and they receive funding from our hotel associations. So they need to have connectivity to not only the hotels where they receive the funding, but also to the community, because there are BRAC has a group that they deal with, which is a larger business, and North Baton Rouge Development District, Impact BR, has a smaller, focuses on smaller businesses, especially in North Baton Rouge. And then you come to the mayor's office, where we have an ACAO that is primarily there for economic development. And so how are we using our role as council members? My goal is to make sure that I'm connecting them to resources, having business meetings with them quarterly, also connecting and making sure that all of these programs that we have, matching incentives and grant funding, is something that we are allowing and connecting to even the smallest of businesses. We are in an industrial business area in District 5. And so we have to make sure that our manufacturing companies and our larger business are supported. But like I said, we have a food industry that needs to grow. So in order to grow our food industry and our entertainment industry, we have to make sure that we are doing the same thing and holding the same accountability that we're doing in downtown Baton Rouge, in North Baton Rouge. And I think that I have done that. I've made the platform, I've met with these people, and I continue to work with our businesses to ensure that they have the resources, including the workforce that they need.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Green. If you guys can hang in there with us just about 10 more minutes, I think we can wrap it up. Mr. Hurst.
Hey, so they've said some great points on the call, and some of them is kind of saying some of the same things over, but I'll go back to blight. Blight is the biggest deterrent because blight invites crime. And we talk about having a resource desert in North Baton Rouge, especially District 5. Yes, it is industrial. With it being industrial, provides additional health hazards that you don't get in other parts of the city. So it's immediately a deterrent. And some of the resources and tax funding that was there to drive grocery stores and other businesses to low-income areas, now they can be used all over the city. So if we want to invite businesses into our area that directly provide employment opportunities, then we have to clean our community up, right? We have to make sure that we partner with our school board members to make sure that the education is at a certain level, because we don't want to just put a business there. We want to employ people from the community that work there and drive people from other states, other cities to want to be employed there, because the resources that we offer around those businesses are a great place to not just to work, but to also to play and also to live. And so I've lived in Atlanta, I've lived in Houston, and one of the things that we need to do is start taking those models like Americana and Zachary and some of the other places and actually build neighborhoods with resources around them to support the residents that we put in those neighborhoods. And I think you said 1 minute.
I did.
So thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hurst. We'll go on to Mr. Anderson.
Can you hear me this time?
Yes, we can.
All right, there we go. So this is always the question, right? And the part of the theory of the case that I laid out earlier is that part of our problem is we tend to think that the only opportunities that exist in Baton Rouge are the ones that have existed before. And that's not only true, it's insulting to the ingenuity and the spirit of the workers here in Baton Rouge. It's true. And I'm sure that people who are watching have probably heard this before, or they've heard it on social media. I am an ITEP hawk. I don't think that companies that are really large and profitable, as ExxonMobil is, with the long storied history that it has with the Baton Rouge community, should be perpetually excused from paying taxes at the expense of local needs, especially not with the budget shortfalls that are coming due to COVID. But ITEP isn't the only driver of investment, and it's not the only indicator of a predictable market. Being a tolerant community invites investment. So passing the fairness ordinance, having a real public transportation system invites investment. Being seen as open for business for the industries of tomorrow, clean energy and technology, invites investment, and reducing crime invites investment. By having a bigger, more audacious vision of what our city can be, that will be the thing that stems the notorious brain drain and finally keeps young people who are graduating from our two outstanding universities here in Baton Rouge for the long haul. That's what invites investment.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Ms. Coleman.
Yes, ma'ams, and yes, sir. I say incentives. I say tax breaks. I say a collaborative effort of relationships with small and large businesses. You have large businesses that have what they have, small businesses that want to be a large business. Build that relationship to show them how to become a large business. Also, help pay for that training using those local trade unions, the community colleges. We have 2 major universities here in District 10. Also, special loans for companies that are industry-based in our area. So a lot has been said. I agree with all. A lot have come to the table. So I say that all that have been said, listen up, take a look at that and see how something can definitely be implemented. But incentives, incentives, incentives. No one here goes to work without an incentive. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman. Next up, we'll have Mr. Collins.
For me, attracting investors is about making sure the least of us win. We know for a fact that companies are looking for cities that are not both equitable and fair. So it's addressing those issues that sometimes keep larger cities out of cities in the South. For example, looking at transportation, making sure that people have plausible means to work. It's making sure that we have young men that are pulled from the street corners and put in the concrete jobs, and making sure they have the TWIC card and the certificates to do that. If we start to build healthier communities, and when I say healthier communities, I'm talking about public health, I'm talking about where they go to work at, as well as plausible transportation solutions. When you ride the streets, the community looks better. I'm a sociologist by trade, and it's been proven that if a street light is affixed properly, the kid that lives on that street performs better. If you can ride these communities and they visually look better, investment comes. But if you got to ride down the street and you lose a tire, a pothole, or if you got to ride down the street and you see bags of trash and limbs on the side of the road and buildings falling down, how does that promote investment? And anything else on the lines of equitable investment, if you come to these to District 10 and you're not looking to invest equitably, then what are you investing in? We can't have systems where tax subsidies are granted and jobs don't match. Equitable investment and good investment means that the community members that currently reside there wins from it, and not investment that brings something totally new, but transforms what's already there.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Ms. Cozy.
All right. And so to any business looking to come to Baton Rouge, the first thing I would tell them is that the city of Baton Rouge, the inner city, has over 200,000 residents there. The greater metro Baton Rouge area has over 800,000 residents there. And given the success of our capital transportation projects, there can be connectivity. So people can come from all over and can be recruited to be a part of your workforce. Secondly, I would let them know that we are at a place where the citizens are tired. They're tired of the same old, same old. Everybody wants to be improved upon. Everybody wants improvements. And if we can bring businesses during this time, then the citizens can be engaged, educated, provided with healthy alternatives to lifestyle choices that may be taking place currently. However, we are ripe for change. And so Baton Rouge would be a great place to bring your business at this time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cozy. Mr. Jay Goday.
Yeah, so what I would plan to do to encourage investment in Baton Rouge from businesses is exactly what I've been doing, marketing our city, and not just marketing the district that I'm looking to represent, but marketing the city as a whole, and not in its current state. When you're marketing to a business, and we have to court businesses, we have to show them that we can all just sit up here and point out the issues of our city. They're obvious. We know what they are. But any successful business has been part of a solution. And we market what our city could be, and we invite we invite those businesses to come in and be part of the solution, then we see a turnaround in development. Then we see a boom in economic growth, because now that their investment, the things that they've developed, it has spearheaded more development, more small businesses being able to be involved, more jobs being created. And that is the way that we have to go about bringing investment into the city, is through marketing our city, showing these outside companies, showing these businesses what our city can bring to the table, and that they can be part of a solution and still fit their business model.
Thank you so much, Mr. Godet. Last but not least, Mr. Devontae Lewis.
Thank you. I think first we have to recognize that cities cannot afford to chase mobile millennials and footloose companies while underinvesting in their own residents, entrepreneurs, and neighborhoods. When we know private sector businesses employ majority of a city's residents. So how do we do that equitably? What we have to do is implement equitable, accessible resources that can really grow and promote a system change around our residents and in our city. So that is looking at our procurement and processing, permitting process. It's also using federal dollars to improve the lives of people equitably. Tapping into WIOA funding through Employee BR to provide social services, to childcare, to housing assistance, to transportation subsidies can move people into apprenticeships and vocational training, because we can't just create another program and assume that we're going to build a pipeline if we don't build the system around them to support a single person or a family. And I think that's how you start to attract businesses and build our economy, is by having targeted investments in people of color, Black and brown communities, as well as low-income communities, but also building a system of pipeline to educational opportunities and workforce development. And then you create a system of a culture that invites everyone to prosper in our city.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you guys so much for sharing with us today. On behalf of ExxonMobil, we'd like to thank all of the candidates who joined us today. We know that your schedules are very busy, and we certainly are very grateful that you could attend with us today. Please know, again, some of you heard a little earlier once we started that this has been recorded. This is being recorded, and we will share it with our 5,000 plus employees and contractors. And so they will have the opportunity to hear what you guys had to share. It's important for them to see your faces, hear your voices, and know the things that you stand for. For those employees who hung in there with us today, we had a mayor's forum at 10:30. We had these Metro Council forums at 12. We thank you for sharing with us today. We hope you were able to gain some valuable insight from the candidates who are seeking your support. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our forum today. Thank you so much again, and we look forward to working with each of you, whether you are elected or not. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you guys have a great day. I have one question, Chandra.
Yes, ma'am.
Would it be possible for you to share the recording with us as well, so that way we can share it with our voters in our area as well?
Let me find out the answer to that, because we did have to get special permission to record it in general. So
okay.
let me find that answer out for you, and I'll let everybody know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you. You guys have a great day too.